safely on Hawaii Five-0.
こんにちは皆さん。私、修二と妻のエイリーンのチャンネルにようこそ。
Aloha, this is Aileen. Welcome to part 2 of our tour inside Steve McGarrett's house, also known as the Bear Estate.
Alright, what do you guys think?
Well,
Does it look a little smaller in person? Catherine and McGarrett broke up right here in the front of the house. You guys remember?
I'm sorry. You just got here.
Look, Steve, it's not that I don't love you. I do. But I have to go away for a little bit.
How long?
The truth is, I don't really know. This is so hard.
I think a lot of the fans were hoping that they would get together and possibly get married, but
I'm one of those.
maybe that'll be one of the final episodes.
Then I don't want that to happen yet.
So when she came back from Afghanistan or somewhere, and then I thought they would get back together,
But she was gone again.
Alright, welcome guys.
On 2 chairs.
2 chairs. Oh, those are.
Welcome to the McGarrett house, guys.
Yeah.
This is also known as the Bear Estate.
I'm Detective Williams. This is Commander McGarrett.
Book him, Dano.
Really? I mean, is that going to be a thing now?
You like it?
I like it so.
Yes.
We made it,
so
finally.
nice.
yeah.
行くな。ハワイ5-0。
Five-0. Budget per episode is $2 million.
That's right. We're going to go over the storyboard while you have lunch today, okay?
When CBS came knocking, they were looking for a place that had a very old style feel because they wanted the home to be that belonging to McGarrett's father, and they wanted to have a view of the ocean, and it had to be 2-story. And so the people who helped find properties whenever there's filming going on, there are these certain groups that go around and take the producers and directors, and they said, well, first they went into Manoa Valley, and they said, well, these homes are nice, but there's no view of the ocean. So that's when they said, I know exactly where you want to see. So then they came here, and CBS loved it. And I didn't know this, but when there is a pilot, there's producers and directors for the pilot. When the pilot is picked up by CBS, then for it to become a series, then there's a brand new set of producers and directors. I didn't know they did that. So then the second.
Oh, yeah, look. Nice location here.
It's nice
Very
here,
shallow sea.
Yeah, I'm going to make everybody come over here and follow me. I'm going to explain some stuff to you guys near the shoreline if that's okay with you. Alright. Pretty warm today, huh? By the way, that scene that you saw with McGarrett and Dano, they were sitting right here in the chairs, going up, contemplating their case or whatever, right? But they actually film a lot of stuff here, this particular area. You also see McGarrett stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, spearfishing, all up and down
Swimming,
the
yeah.
coastline here.
Okay.
low tide at the moment, but if you notice from the shoreline to the whitewash
Can't
there,
say.
that's where the barrier reef is located. And so from the shoreline to the barrier reef is maybe 2 to 4 feet deep. You can actually walk all the way out. See that person
walking.
standing up over there? Yeah. This is a very popular area for free diving and for spearfishing, really. The main reason they chose this location for the house to be Steve McGarrett's house for the show was they wanted this shoreline and also the backdrop that you see. You got Cocoa Head to our left.
Yes, yeah.
Cocoa Head, yeah.
This is also the area that you see the helicopter swooping in and filming the back of the house as well, right? So, and everyone wants to take a picture in those 2 chairs with the house in the backdrop. So we might have to make this happen. All right. And then just to the right of the tree is where they dug the money, right?
Yes,
Where they got the money. They actually did that here. But there is a studio version of the inside of the house now, so they don't have to take out the furniture every time they want to film.
Right.
But they can't duplicate the outside of the house, and that's why they still come here to film constantly. Okay? We were just here last week, so.
Yo, what's up? You ready? Catherine spoke to Naval Intel. It's been radio silence on her dock. Yeah, well, look, we pinged the cell phone. Last signal we got was 3 miles out.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see from in real life, I suppose.
Rollers too. It's always on the intro. Oh, it's amazing. The way he looks.
There we go. Who wants to go first, actually?
So you take turns taking photos.
Perfect.
Ready?
Yes.
Book 'em, Dano.
Do it every day. I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Wow.
One more shot. Good one right there. Okay.
Yeah, awesome. Perfect.
Nice. I want to hold this beer. Fake beer.
Alcoholic person.
Let's take one beer each. Let's pretend we're getting ourselves drunk. With
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You look like
You
beer
can share
drinkers.
your photo for her.
Yeah.
She using an iPhone.
Yeah.
AirDrop.
Airdrop.
Let's do
Yeah.
airdrop.
You know how to
I
turn
can
your
send
airdrop
you.
on?
No.
I can show you. Oh, this is not an iPhone, unfortunately.
No, it's an iPhone. With a lot of countries, but I'll be using this phone everywhere.
Oh, you might have to take the picture with this phone then, because you can't airdrop if it's not on.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
find a way.
Okay, sure. You want to just take it with her phone, or you want to text it to her or something?
You can,
International
I can give you my
numbers, though, it's kind of
number.
hard. Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
No
Or email.
problem. Or email.
Yes.
Yeah.
email.
Writings on the wall inside my head, inside of me. Holding all these thoughts beneath my skin, can you believe?
You like that gimbal?
Hmm?
It's the Smooth 4. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Heavy for travel.
Yeah, good. I have the Osmo 3 that I like to utilize as well.
He has the Osmo too, but it's more narrow, I think.
Yeah, the Osmo 3 is much more, it holds up, because I have the bigger phone, so
And
it,
it's
it helps with the
1080
weight.
pixels.
Yeah.
She don't use. Always I'm cameraman.
Like 15 countries. I'm still using this phone.
All in there, right?
Everything is in there.
You can see the grass here hasn't filled up yet, because
Oh, they've
when
been
they dug
digging.
the hole, it was under the tree, right? So
Yeah.
the grass hasn't filled back. This is exactly where they...
See what it looks like.
Are we making a deposit or a withdrawal?
Deposit. It's a long story. Kamakona invested in the restaurant Danny and I are trying to open. All right, he paid in cash, and I really don't have anywhere else safe to keep it. If I deposit this money in the bank, I have to hire a lawyer, okay, to draw up a formal partnership agreement that's expensive. We're trying to stay liquid at the moment.
Is that right? It's summertime for you guys. Yeah. All right. Picking this back up. Well, guys, if you want to gather around the table, I'll disperse everyone's lunches, okay? Lots of room for everyone here. So. All right. So I understand you guys are having the roast beef sandwiches, yeah?
Yeah.
Gotcha. There's a bunch of chips there in the middle, so please help yourself. I also have some soft drinks here too. The choice of either ice cold bottled water or we have POG. Does anybody know what POG is?
No. What is it?
POG stands for Passion Orange Guava Juice.
Wow.
Passion Orange Guava Juice. Okay.
Yes.
Try that? Yeah.
Right.
3 in 1.
It's the most popular juice here in Hawaii, right? So anybody have any preferences? You're gonna have one of these? And for you? You as well? And how about you, my friend?
POG.
Also, yeah.
Here you go.
You must work out a lot of abs.
No, I have no abs, unfortunately.
Steve McGarrett has lots of those abs.
Yes.
Mole paste. I put some artichoke hearts,
Okay.
lettuce, tomato, and mozzarella cheese in there, okay?
Awesome.
I'm sorry? Perfect. Awesome. Good.
That's
You got it.
perfect.
Let's eat.
Let's see. Itadakimasu, right?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Does anybody here know what the most expensive television series in the history of television is or was?
Star Wars.
No. That's a movie, a television series. So,
It's not lost.
not lost.
Walking Dead.
Okay, so no more guesses, I suppose. It's actually Game of Thrones. Their budget is between $10 to $15 million per episode. So it's a much larger budget than Hawaii Five-0 is, right? Because Hawaii Five-0's budget is only $2 million per episode. And it all starts in pre-production. This is where they start the writing process. So as soon as they stop filming season 9, they already started writing for season 10 because the process is such a long process to write all these episodes. And they typically have 9 writers, and they have these pre-production meetings where they come up with premises for the show, and they present them to the executive producer, and he ultimately has the final say as to whether or not they need to go ahead and write the rest of the script or change the premise, really. 7 days to break a story, which takes up some time, but also a couple of weeks to write the script, so that also takes up some time. That's why they start this process so far in advance. 15 to 20 location scouts, and so it does take up some time to find out the best locations per the script, really, you know? But this island is only 44 miles wide and 33 miles tall, so it does take up, we ran out of locations eventually, but they kind of film at the same locations and they give you a different angle to make it look like it's in a different place, really, you know? But again, we do have 11 of the world's 13 climates, so they can make it look like just about anywhere in the world. The elevation on Mauna Kea, which is on the Big Island, is almost 14,000 feet above sea level. They say if you were to measure from the ocean floor, it's taller than Mount Everest. So that's where our observatories are located, which are the largest observatories in the world to study all the planets. You go to Haleakala on the island of Maui, it's a little over 10,000 feet above sea level. But these are some of the locations that we get snow at. It's one of the few places where you can go snowboarding and then an hour and a half later go surfing. So we got it all, very diverse, right? That's one of the main reasons why they choose this place to film a lot of the movies, right? Okay, so from pre-production, we move over to production. And this is where they start the filming process, right? They have strict 8-day shoot schedules when they film, because sometimes they have cameos of other actors coming in the following week to do their scenes, so they have to get everything done within a certain time frame, really, you know? There are 200 to 250 crew members per episode, so it's quite the production.
There's a lot of people.
And logistically, to manage all these people, because sometimes they film in 3 or 4 different locations on the same day. But these guys have early days, you know. There are 3 production teams, and that's what we call A-roll, B-roll, and C-roll. Have you heard those terms before?
No, not yet.
So A-roll means where they have the principal actors and they have speaking roles. That's what they're filming for A-roll. The B-roll guys are all the filler scenes, like we saw in some of the video back there, where you saw the mountains with the rainbows and the waterfalls, or somebody surfing. That's all the filler scenes with no speaking. And then we have the C-roll, which is the specialty camera angles. And that's like the underwater scenes or the helicopter mounted scenes as well. So those are all specialty camera guys. So those are the 3 production teams. They have 12 to 17 hour days. Sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate, so they stay a little longer than they have to, really, you know. Which is a challenge because these guys, they start at 5 a.m. constantly. And not the main actors, but it's the setup crew that are always starting at 5 a.m. They could finish at 2 in the morning, but they have to be back the next day at 5 a.m. to do this all over again. So they have extremely long days, for sure. We have 10 to 15 wardrobe fittings per principal actor. And then we have 4 set dogs. Initially, they had 4 set dogs. because those are the dogs that were holding up production. Just imagine you got 250 crew members here waiting for the dogs to do their scene, right? But now they only have one because he's mastered it. Yes, they were all Eddies, but there were four. They all looked alike, really. But now they only have one because that's the one that does all the scenes the best. So that's kind of how that works. All right, so from production we move over to post-production. And this is where they go back to the studio that we passed by earlier and puts everything together, right? They have a couple of weeks to edit one episode, so that also takes up a bit of time. And they have 4 days to music score. So when you watch the show, you'll notice that we have a lot of our local musicians that do the music for the show, which is great for them because it exposes their music to millions of people all over the world. You'd be surprised, for this particular tour, we get fans from Germany, Austria, Canada, all over the States, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. It's very international. In some of those other countries, they actually do voiceovers. So the voices that we hear on the show, they hear something different.
Très bien, on va se débrouiller seul. On fait le point sur les munitions. Qu'est-ce qui vous reste?
20 hours to sound mix and 40 to 60 hours of sound effects.
On a peu de munitions, on tire
So
le
this is
minimum.
all in post-production, right? 16 hours of color time. So when you watch the show, the ocean looks really blue or really green, but it's not always the case because sometimes we have bad weather. They can do such movie magic here in the post-production that they can enhance everything. They can film at night and make it look like it's in the daytime. That's how good they are at this post-production aspect. Do you remember the special assistant to the governor where her car exploded outside the headquarters of Five-0?
Yeah.
Okay, so that headquarters is actually our state Supreme Court in reality. That's where all of our laws are made. So you can't blow things up there. So that was all CGI. That was all done on the computer. Because, it's a special building to us, right? But after everything here, guys, you get 42 minutes of one episode of Hawaii Five-0.
That's right.
So there's a lot that goes into it. Most people just don't realize.
It's a lot of work.
That's right. And they're in their 10th season, so they've done 20 to 24 episodes a year. And so it does take up a lot of time. And that's why they start filming in August and they conclude right around the end of February, which they're concluding at right now. Right. So
And the budget, $2 million, includes their wages.
it does not include the salaries. This is just the production.
Production cost.
That's a lot.
And that includes the extras and all that other stuff because there are a lot of extras for the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
extras. Hawaii Five-0 is my favorite.
You like that show? That's
I
great.
love them.
Awesome.
I love everybody there.
I know. I wish we had another 10 more seasons to go, but eventually these guys want to move on to other projects.
And Junior is one of the latest one. He's from Samoa. And
That's right.
Yes, and the girls in New Zealand, we have a lot of Samoans are crazy of.
Oh, for sure. A lot of Maori, a lot of Samoans, a lot of Fijians and Tongans as well. Yeah. So very international in Aotearoa, which is New Zealand, right? Which portion of the North Island are you from?
North Island.
Which portion of the North Island?
In Auckland.
Okay. I have lots of friends who live there, and they always bring me pineapple lumps. Did you bring any pineapple lumps with you? No?
No.
Oh, shucks. I wish I knew you beforehand. You guys know what that is? It's kind of like chocolate with a gummy bear inside or something, but similar to that.
Sounds good.
Kids love
It's
them.
one of those things where you can't stop eating. So who's your favorite character out of the bunch?
Daniel and
Daniel.
and Luke.
And you, Lou, there you go.
And McGarrett, of course. I love Lou. He's so.
Yeah, you like
He's a
that?
teddy bear.
That's right.
I love those children too.
Yeah.
Does anybody know who the first actor cast for the show was? It was actually McGarrett.
Yes. Yeah, McGarrett.
So yeah, he was doing some small projects in Hollywood, and then he got the lead role here for Hawaii Five-0, which kind of defined his career from there. You know, he hasn't done any big movies other than that because he's so busy doing this, and now he has children too.
Yeah.
With his new wife,
Right.
and then they have children from previous relationships as well.
Oh.
So now they're the Brady Bunch, and they all live near Diamond Head. But I sometimes see him and his son at a place called the Cove, which is a very popular acai bowl place. Does anybody know what an acai bowl is?
No.
It's like a frozen treat with fruits and granola and stuff. But he's pretty healthy, and he lives right down the road from this place, so that's why I typically see him there constantly. Second person cast for the show was actually Daniel Day Kim, who played Chin Ho Kelly, because he came from Lost, and Lost concluded right as this started, so he just transitioned right over, and he's still a local resident here. I just saw him on New Year's Eve. We were partying at the same place. We have mutual friends and stuff. And then the third person cast was Grace Park, who played the
Grace Park.
That's right. But she's Canadian, if you didn't know.
And she's married to a Canadian too, isn't it?
Yeah. So her whole family lives in Canada. So you know when they cast her for the show, she was the oldest character casted. She was actually 36 years old. But she looked like she was the youngest out of the bunch. Yeah. She's 4 years older than Alex and Scott. If you didn't know this, Scott and Alex are born a day apart. Same year, same age.
Oh, wow.
But because Alex is born in Australia and Scott is born in California, it's technically the same day. Last person cast for the show out of the main characters was Scott Caan. Does everybody know who his dad was? His name is James Caan.
James Caan, yeah.
You watched the old movie called Godfather? He was one of the main characters. He played the character Sonny.
Maybe.
So he was actually the Godfather's son, the oldest son. He's a very popular actor. So Scott comes from an acting family is what I'm trying to say. But he was actually in Hawaii Five-0 during a couple of the early episodes too. If you didn't he was on the boat there, you know?
Yeah.
That's his real dad in real life. So it was kind of cool to see the two of them together on Hawaii Five-0. Kamakona, you guys like that character?
Yeah, yes, the big guy.
That's right. So at one time he was a sumo wrestler, if you didn't know.
Oh,
yeah.
no, it looks like the sumo wrestler, right?
Yeah.
The bald-headed guy.
Very round, the darker big guy.
Food truck, yes.
Food truck.
Yeah, so he was a sumo wrestler a long time ago. And he was actually in the very first UFC 1. He was a sumo wrestler that went up against a French kickboxer. And his fight lasted about 30 seconds. Wow. The French kickboxer came up to him, gave him a quick kick, hit him in the face, his tooth went flying out. That was the end of his MMA career. Oh. He's a much better actor.
Very fast.
But he kind of got his popularity and first break on a movie called Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So it's kind of like 50 First Dates, same kind of premise really, but good movie. And then this is Flippa. He's going to join our tour, so he's going to be here. We don't want to disrupt what we're doing. Everybody has to be quiet while they say action. Rolling, and action. So that's where everyone's going to have to be. Because the microphones pick up on everybody's voices, and we don't want to hear our voices in the show. That's because we're observing, so we have to be When you guys are ready, guys, if you're interested, we can go in the house and we'll take a look. So Hawaiian style is just like Japanese style. We always take our shoes off before we enter.
That's all right. We do that in Japan.
Okay. So this is obviously their own furniture. This isn't the furniture that this house was built in 1936. It's actually part of the Hawaii Historic List. And all of this furniture that you see kind of reflects that same time period, but they can't really alter anything because it's on the Hawaii Historic List, right? But this is generally where they filmed where the desk was, yeah?
Yeah.
It's positioned right here. Do you remember that video that I was showing you earlier? This is where the dad was tied to the chair. Right. Where they offed him right here. When they were filming, this was the backdrop that you saw. So if you look in this direction, you can kind of see that was behind his head there. And then come on in. Take a look at the living room, guys. Everybody loves this mezzanine. And this kind of proves that you were here at the house because this is what you see on the show, right? That's right. Wow. When you watch the show, where do you think his room would be?
Upstairs.
Upstairs, right. Yeah. But in reality, as you already know, the room is downstairs.
I'm surprised, really.
Yeah. So if you guys want to take a look, come on in. This is where they filmed where Catherine and McGarrett consummated their friendship. This is where they used to cuddle, yeah?
bedroom.
The bedroom, that's right. And if you notice the architecture here, it's very 1936. It looks like you're inside a ship, right? But this is what the houses were built like in the 30s, really. So.
It's cute. I like houses like these.
Lots of character, yeah?
Like when it was made.
I'll get out of here so you guys have my space. And then if you want to take a look at the kitchen, we don't make kitchens like this anymore.
Is this the kitchen they cook?
The kitchen that you see on the show is modeled after this particular kitchen. We never filmed here in this kitchen because it's too small, they can't fit the cameras and stuff. But they also don't make basins like this anymore. This is some 1936.
I saw rice
almost
cooker.
100 years old, right? You look on the refrigerator, you can see some of the actors whenever they're filming here. There's also that one character, John Locke from Lost, right there.
John Locke. He's John White there.
Oh, these people are so lucky.
Yeah.
Well, they're the owners.
Of course they're here.
So they have a good relationship. You know, they've filmed here for over 10 years now, right? So
yes.
They've become family to them, really. So you can see Dano there in the middle.
Very big refrigerator.
So apparently Alex loves Suze's cooking because she makes a mean chili, but she also makes a really good cornbread. So she was saying that they were filming in the front of the house one day. She cooked a pot of chili because they were here, because she knows that he likes her food. And she made a fresh thing, a pan of cornbread. So she was patiently waiting on this side until they finished the scene. And then, so she was kind of holding the pan like this. And they're doing their scene, and then all of a sudden Alex goes, "Is that cornbread?" As they're filming. So the director was like, "Oh, Suze, can you hold the cornbread till after?" But she started eating some right there, and then they went back into the scene. But anyway, she says that he likes to mash his food up. That's the way he eats it. He makes a big mishmash of everything, and then just kind of goes to town. So that's kind of how that works. Okay, I'm gonna break this out here. You guys want to take a look at this storyboard here? I'll go over some of the studio version of the McGarrett house, okay? So this is the kitchen that you see on the show. And as you can see, it's modeled after this particular kitchen, French country style, right? There are some differences though. You can see there's no pantry here and there aren't two refrigerators here. But this is where they filmed because they had more room for the cameras. And then this is the garage that they first met, right? Dano and McGarrett. The garage that you see in the front is much smaller. They can't fit all of this stuff and have a big continental in there as well. So this is all at the studio, right? They have their own version of it. They can't duplicate the outside of the house, and that's why they still film here, right? At the studio. But the inside of the house, this is it. All right, so you guys know the desk area.
Yes.
Typically positioned there.
Right.
This is the dining room table that they never really film at, really, but they have it just in case they need it, right? The mezzanine and the front door area. I'll show you some differences. So if you watch some of the older episodes, if you look here, remember that family that they had? He was trying to hide them because the bad guys were coming. Remember we saw the video, right?
Yes.
So he stashed those kids underneath this trap door. But if you look over here, there's no trap door.
Right.
So that was filmed at the studio.
Oh.
And if you look at the stairs here, these are enclosed, while this one here is open.
Open it. Oh.
So if you watch some of the old episodes, you can tell where they filmed, if it was here or in studio, right? And then the living room is what you typically see a lot of on the show, right?
Same
And it's the same layout, but different furniture, right?
Right.
That's it. Did I turn the light on?
A hole on the floor is where his mom stashed.
Is it possible to see if Yogi wants to come down and say hi?
No time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Go say hi, buddy. Thank you so much.
Is that Eddie? Or somebody?
Wow.
Oh, hello there!
This is Yogi.
このビデオを見てくれてありがとうございます。ぜひ YouTube チャンネルに登録お願いします。また新しい動画が見れるように通知ベルをクリックしておいてください。次のセッションでまたお会いしましょう。
you enjoyed watching, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, if you hit that bell button, which is right next to the subscribe button, you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter, all of the links down in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in my next one. Bye!